What's happening, boxing? What's happening, YouTube? Amp about that boxing. Man, I got to say, I was wrong. Text a grown man, I was wrong. See, this is why I watch fights 2 or 3 times. I gave a post-fight reaction to the Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz, and I jumped the gun. I had some drinks in me, watching the fight with some homies, and we were always writing our little scorecards down. Though it was a pathetic fight, this fight was pathetic, and I think I was very disappointed. I actually had Teo picked to win this fight, but it's just the fashion that everything went down and the perspective I was viewing from. Let me break it down to you why Jermaine Ortiz lost this fight. All right. And you're going to have people bring up the Shakur situation because they're very similar. Shakur versus Edwin De Los Santos. So I'm going to clear it up now. I had to dig deep within myself, my true voice of reasoning, and this is how I feel. Jermaine Ortiz came there to dethrone a champion. Now, boxing is fine, but after rewatching this fight, he was not boxing. If you watch it from, I would say, the second round on, it looked like he almost was in survival mode for the whole fight. Very similar to how Shakur Stevenson was looking. Very similar. But I'm going to tell you the differences. All right. The differences are this. Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos were fighting for a vacant title. Y'all come here with me because I'm about to make sense out of this shit. They were fighting for a vacant title. Now, in that situation where Edwin De Los Santos wasn't throwing no punches, it looked very similar. I just think Teofimo was way more trying to make the fight happen. Teo was egging this dude on. Teo even let him come in on him in the corner. Like, come on, because he just wanted to fight. I'm sorry, Teofimo's fights are exciting when the person there is there to fight with him. All right? So I'm going to explain the difference. Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson were fighting for a vacant title. All right? So now you could just look at the points, ring generalship, the basics, okay? You could look at the basics at this point because Shakur did outscore him. He nullified De Los Santos to literally no contact. All right? Now, in Teofimo versus Ortiz, in this case, this is a completely different case. Teofimo is the lineal champion. You are going to dethrone the champion. And we have to think in our mind, warrior, when you dethrone someone, you don't do it without hurting them, without putting a punishment on them. See, when a fight has this little going on and it's this boring, it's this much of a dud, quote, styles make fights, as they say. When it's this much of a clash of styles, Jermaine Ortiz had a perfect concept to come in as a lefty. It was beautiful. Right then, Teo was already semi-confused. But Teo's not looking to fight that type of fight. Teo wants to go, let's go bang up, head up. Look what he did to Josh Taylor. That's dethroning a champion. You go in there and you punish them. You put a hurting on them. You make everyone see this dude is nothing compared to me. And in order to do that, you have to engage. Oh, Floyd Mayweather, yes, Floyd Mayweather engaged. Go watch. Every fight. Yeah, he was hitting, not getting hit, but Floyd would be in close range. He will go in and hurt you. He'll even be shoulder rolling and everything right in front of you while you got him on the ropes, and he's still beating your ass. So this is completely different. Jermaine Ortiz ran a track meet just like Shakur. The only difference is that Shakur Stevenson was fighting for a vacant title that no one was holding, so neither one was a champion, so he got the decision based on his performance. But when you're coming to dethrone a champion and they base it on your performance, it's a different way to base that performance. Yes, he did make Teofimo, Ortiz, did make Teofimo fight his fight, but he wasn't engaging. He almost looked terrified when I went back and watched the fight the second time when Teo was, getting him anywhere near trapped. And I mean, he was calm in a way, but it just wasn't a good look. I knew this wasn't going to be a good look, but I was so focused on Teo because I had Teo picked to win this fight. And when Teo could not cut the ring off, which I still think is a serious, enormous flaw, he should have been able to cut him off at several points. There were several points where Jermaine Ortiz had the perfect opportunity to just get down on Teo a little bit and then jump back out. And that's what he should have been doing. He should have been doing a lot more engaging, a little less jumpy movement. Because literally, like when Teo would try to put him in a corner or put him up against the ropes, this dude was so elusive. He was going down on it. Teo could not hit him. That was real. But he needed to be able to engage and get some punches off that mattered. Like neither one of these guys had any definitive punches in this fight. It was just a horrible event. For all the intro, the best part of this fight was Teo coming in, getting up out the Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? Dressed in the superhero gear. Coming in the ring, 3-ring circus, all this. That was great. But unfortunately, the fight did not live up to the entrance. So I believe that Teo should have retained his titles. I don't believe that there should have been a 117, 111 card. That was just asinine. And they do need to check that guy out, whoever that was that had the 117 versus 111. That dude need to be checked out. Was not watching this fight. But I do understand, after watching this fight a second time, that Teo was really trying to make the fight happen. He was trying to make Ortiz engage, and he would not do it. This is the champion. You are coming to take something from the champion. When you come in to take something, you have to go to the person and take it. You can't run around the person and take something. I'm trying to break it down for y'all in the simplest fashion. You're coming to take the title. So it has to look like you took the title. So if he would have decisively just, been binging on Teo and then jumping out of the pocket, but he was going in there, he was like throwing, like he was catching him with the check hook. He kept check hooking him and then, maybe throwing some good jabs and landing some stingers. Just, even though he's not a super power puncher, he got some sting on them jabs. So something that's more convincing. You did not convince the judges that you were wanting to take this title. And the fact that Ortiz was yelling knockout, I'ma knock this dude out, and all this, and then came in the ring and did the furthest thing from it. So now on a sober mind, in my real boxing mode, not boxing fan mode, and straight boxing mode, I'm telling y'all, this is why it is absolutely correct for Teofimo Lopez to retain his titles without any punishment to him. It shouldn't have been a draw. I even said that, it should have been a draw. No, it shouldn't have. Teo should have just retained his titles. I was wrong. Teo should have retained his titles and no blemishes on his record, because a draw is a blemish to a champion. Anything but a win is a blemish to a champion. Okay, and Teo said something that, a lot of people was judging him and all that, but I know his performance after the fight, his post-fight interview was a little all over the place. And I do believe that Teo cried because I think he thought they was going to rob him. I'm just being real. He said it was because he loved the sport. No, I think he started crying before the decision was all the way made. They panned to him a little bit early. If you look, he was already crying. He was already starting to cry. So I think he thought that they was gonna, oh man, they're gonna fall for this ish. I think that's what he thought. And everybody thought Jermaine Ortiz won that fight. I'm just being real. Even when they saw the 117, 111, everybody was still like, dang, that's just ridiculous. But everyone thought it was in favor of Ortiz. But these judges was on their ish. Except for the one with the 117, 111. That was just a little bit ridiculous. But the concept and the idea is there. And almost, they getting on him. Maybe he's the most right. 117 versus 111. Maybe he don't need to be checked. Because I guess he really was probably feeling a strong feeling that I'm trying to explain to y'all of you got to take the title. This dude is not taking the title. He's running and dancing around the guy with the title and touching him a little bit. Teo was not damaged. It just wasn't a championship level performance on behalf of Jermaine Ortiz. See, for a fight to happen, both people have to want to fight. Or both people have to want to box. Both people have to be on the same page. Or you get this type of ish. So, like I said, I'm a grown man. I could admit I just did an outburst last night. I was tired as hell. I was waiting on the fight. And Keyshawn Davis' performance, I was loving it. And I mean, there were even a lot of the, undercard fights, they had some good, talented guys. Good, talented guys. Knockouts. And I know it was early in the career. Some of these guys was 2-0 and stuff like that. But it's just, I love watching those young guys coming up. So I had actually got way more enjoyment out of the undercards than the actual fight. To rewatch this fight was grueling. But I had to do it. I had to check myself. Because I knew I had some bubbles in me. And I knew how I was feeling last night. So I was like, man, let me go back and watch this fight again. So I did. Y'all hit them likes and subscribes, man. Get them up. That's all I got for this one. I'll get back with y'all later. Amp about that boxing.